The A24 hits just keep on coming. Well, except if you're men. Nope. Welcome back, everyone, to the Grizzly Reviews channel. My name is Garrett, and today I'm bringing you a review of Talk to Me, the most recent A24 horror picture that is just... wow, you gotta go see it. I mean, I'm gonna just be honest from the beginning. You need to see this movie. Obviously, I love me some A24 horror, so I was genuinely excited to go see this movie, but also really nervous because the trailers made it look so scary. And I don't like being scared, but I like being scared, you know? All you horror fanatics out there know the nice feeling of getting scared, but also you're tense and not ready to be scared at the same time. It's a really weird feeling, but it's so much fun. When a group of friends discover how to conjure spirits using an embalmed hand, they become hooked on the new thrill until one of them goes too far and unleashes terrifying supernatural forces. That's IMDb's synopsis of this movie. I think that's pretty accurate. I wouldn't add anything else. I don't think I want to spoil anything for you in this review because this movie is so entertaining, so scary, so thrilling. Talk to Me is out fucking standing. I honestly was not expecting this movie to be so funny. Just the way the characters are talking to each other, not in like a setup punchline kind of funny, you know, jokes, but it's just the way the characters are talking to each other. You're following a group of teens throughout this movie. The way that the mom character just doesn't care how she talks to the kids. It's just so fun to see this movie the way it is. And then it's entertaining. The pace of this is so quick. There's a montage about halfway through this movie that is just so much fun to watch. And you know the implications of what the characters are doing is terrifying, but because they're having fun, you're having fun. So what is this movie really about? Well, Mia is dealing with the grief of losing her mother 2 years prior. The movie starts on her Remembrance Day. This movie takes place in Australia. I don't know if that's something that Australian people normally have. I don't think that's really something we'd have in America, a Remembrance Day on the day that someone died. Of course, people post things about when their loved one is lost and the anniversaries of that, but I don't think it's like a capital R Remembrance Day. And the journey of Mia's character, of what it's like to be someone in a family where they just lost someone or had lost someone and the family hasn't really gotten over it. She doesn't really have good communication skills with her father, him also. For a lot of the movie, you don't see his face until later on. I think it's just because you're keeping the perspective on Mia and she's not really paying attention to her father, so why should the camera? Mia, by the way, is played by Sophie Wilde, and what a tour de force performance. Honestly, everyone in this movie, outstanding. It's crazy that Oppenheimer and Barbie just came out, and those are like the pinnacle of acting roles, but then you have this movie with a bunch of unknowns that just blow it out of the fucking water. The stuff that these actors have to do, maintaining their original character, but then when a spirit comes into their body, which is the whole conceit of the movie, they become someone else. But they're also keeping like their original character, you know? Because the movie explains when you hold this ceramic hand, you say, talk to me, you see a spirit come in front of you, and then you say, let me in, and then the spirit takes over your body, but you're still there, like you're kind of just moved to the side. It's not like a Get Out situation, but you can still see what's happening. You're just not in control of what's going on. Like your mind is aware of what's going on, but you're not controlling your body. And it was kind of wild to see what some of the things these teenagers did when they were essentially possessed. The character Riley, for example, has a fantastic possession scene that is ultimately superiorly terrifying. It's graphic, it's brutal. Wow, was not expecting it. The brutality in this movie is something I didn't expect. From the opening scene, you're just not okay with this movie. What happens, the graphicness of it, the suddenness of it, it just like I felt it in my chest. I wasn't okay anymore. This movie got to me immediately, which is something I wasn't expecting. Of course, being an A24 movie, you're getting an art house horror film. And what Danny and Michael Philippou did with this movie, it being their directorial debut, knowing they have a history in filmmaking and YouTube experience, I'll link their YouTube channel down below. I cannot wait to see what more they do with film. I hope you stay in horror. Of course, if you want to go action or a different genre, I'm happy to see you. But also, horror, you nailed it on your first try. And that's something most can't do. It takes a while to get horror right, and you fucking nailed it. Congratulations. Round of applause for you. Outstanding work. I can't believe you did that. It makes me want to make my horror movie so bad. So yeah, but with their direction, not only are they able to direct the actors so well, the scares are so good. There's not a fake scare in this entire movie. The editing, the camera work that they have showing this. I mean, the montage in the middle of the movie is an editing tour de force on its own. The score is really good, although I don't think I really noticed it that much. Like, it's not a horror score that I'm going to try to listen to later on. Not that every movie needs to have one, but it's just like something I really didn't notice the score affecting the movie as much. I was so invested in the characters and the plot that was happening. I didn't need the music to make me feel tense or feel the suspense of a scene. I really wish this wasn't rated R because it would allow teenagers of right now be able to see this movie, because it's honestly a scathing critique on the way teenagers and really anyone views social media and how we just kind of disassociate from things that are actually fucking terrifying and crazy and bad, and we'll just film it and be entertained by it because it's fun and it's getting us views. So the fact that this movie covered that is amazing. I just wish more people could see this, but it's rated R, which makes sense because they want to make it as scary as they want it to, so I'm okay with that. But that critique of social media and us warping our perspective on the world because of it is so good. And then the stuff with grief it's tackling, I think is also very good. I don't think I've seen this in a movie before, at least horror, in handling the grief way after a family member has passed and not like watching it. Because Hereditary is like that. You see these characters grieve during the movie because stuff is happening. When, I guess, the grandmother dies off screen before the movie starts, but you're starting at the funeral, so it's very recent. And in this, we're starting 2 years after the event. Is there anything I have to say wrong about this movie? I don't think there is. There's nothing I would change about this movie. I think it handles its tone so well of being funny, but not purposefully funny in the right sections. It balances its horror and tension so well, and then it just allows these characters to feel what they're feeling. It only being, I think, an hour and 36 minutes, the story that it tells, so expansive. What happens with Mia and what the spirits are doing to her, you just pick up by it piece by piece. And then what happens in the first scene kind of comes back later on to where you see, oh, things are starting to click together, and I'm like figuring out this movie, but also kind of not. And then where the movie ends, it's just so perfectly written. I love it. It's so good. This is one I can't wait to own on Blu-ray. Everything about Talk to Me is so good. I can't believe, once again, another movie's getting a perfect score. Talk to Me gets a 10 out of 10. I'm so happy Talk to Me is good because Insidious earlier this month was such a disappointment. I'm not going to make a video about it unless you want me to, because then I'm going to have to go see it again because I don't really remember much about it. But if this starts the trend of amazing 2023 horror, of course Scream 6 already came out and I love that movie. What other horror have we gotten this year? I don't remember. Nothing important, apparently. But with all the movies ahead of us for horror this year, The Exorcist, Believer, I think is what it's called, Five Nights at Freddy's, a lot of more indie stuff. I saw X, but I really don't care about Saw X. The trailer came out tonight. I watched it. It looks good. Interesting what they're doing with it. I'm glad it's going back to like Saw classic stuff. But in the end, if you've seen Talk to Me, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below. If you like this video, please give a like. If you want to see more of my videos, hit subscribe just so you know when those pop up. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!